How long did it take for you to write the book?
It took about 3 years to write it and to do the interviews. And then recently I revised it. And that was fun because it meant getting to know Leonardo DiCaprio a little bit. And I think one of the most amazing things about right now is, as Marty says in the book, he has a relationship with Leonardo DiCaprio that is similar to the relationship he had with Robert De Niro. They share the same curiosity, and he has this wonderful sense of working with someone who's 30 years younger, but still understands his motivations. And have you seen Killers of the Flower Moon yet?
Yeah, of course, I loved it. I saw it 2 times already.
Oh yeah, you have to see it 2 times. So did I. The first time it's so overwhelming, but I think it's Leonardo DiCaprio's best performance ever. I mean, he's not a hero, but he just captures so much of that kind of cluelessness. And for an American to really have that kind of white supremacy and the genocide that happened laid out so well is really impressive.
How did you decide on the dialogical form of the text?
Well, when I started doing it, I was just so fascinated with the people that I was interviewing. And I really wanted them to speak, but I wanted to kind of almost edit it the way you would a documentary. For example, if you notice, I interviewed Robert De Niro about Raging Bull, right? And he was talking about, the theme was really jealousy, because he and Marty were talking about how jealousy interferes with relationships. And he said, for example, the brother in Raging Bull is having an affair with my wife. And of course, I got very angry. And I thought, wow, I thought that was just his imagination, Jake LaMotta. So okay, thank you. I'm writing down. The next person on the interview is Joe Pesci. And I said, I completely missed in the script that your character was really having an affair with the wife. And he goes, who told you that? And I said, well, Robert De Niro told me that. And he said, he's crazy. That's not true. It never happened. And I realized De Niro was so much in character that he couldn't even let it go. And I thought that would be the way to do it, to kind of interweave people's viewpoint on what they were doing in the movie, and that would be very interesting.
How did you manage to meet and discuss with all of these people? How did this process develop?
It was very serendipitous. I believe in providence. I believe that there is something that if you're on the right track, things open up. And so sometimes it was on the set of a movie. What I really found was people who had worked with Marty wanted to talk about it, because for many, it was the most profound experience. Liza Minnelli was talking about getting her performance from his eyes. And I was lucky enough to be on the set for some of these movies. And as he was directing, he really puts the actor first. I mean, the actor is the one that is important. And that, I think, kind of actors understand that, and they're willing to talk about it. Now, this is back to De Niro, though. This was interesting. He would not talk about the nuts and bolts of his performance. What he would talk about was why he was attracted to the project, because he was one of the producers and he found the book. And what I realized, his feeling about his performance was it should speak for itself. But the nuts and bolts of why he was attracted to Raging Bull, what he saw in Jake LaMotta, in the abstract way, he would talk about it, but not the emotional connections of his performance. So, and the cameramen, and the sad but good thing was some of the people that I interviewed, passed away soon afterwards. So at least their words and their intentions. And I think they understood that this was going to be one of the peak experiences of their professional life, and they wanted to document it in a certain way.
What were the main obstacles in your writing process?
Well, I'm writing a book right now, and as you know, I loved your preface, but as you know, the hardest part is getting the voice, is having the right tone in making it not too pedantic and not too off-putting. What I find in writing is resisting cliches, the cliches just pop out of your mind without even wanting to, you know. And so it's the process of rewriting. Martin, who worked with Marty on Who's That Knocking, was one of his early collaborators, says a wonderful thing. There's no such thing as writing, there's only rewriting. And I think that is the biggest obstacle for me, having the patience just to go over it and over it. And I worked hard on the introduction to each chapter, trying to find a way to get into it that the reader would be interested, and yet not give away too much. Let the people who are speaking tell the story.
Would you like to add something for your Romanian readers? Sorry.
Yes, I would say that it's interesting. Right before I got the wonderful letter saying that the book was really popular, there was an article in the New York Times about, help me pronounce it, Timișoara, the city. Yeah, and how beautiful it was. And I thought to myself, wow, that would be really wonderful. And since I'm spending a lot of time in Ireland, it's an easy trip, but I kind of put it away. And then when I got the letter and when I realized that there was this connection, I thought, wonderful, I'm going to go to Romania, because we have many Romanian friends in New York, and they speak of their country with such love that I would really like to see it. And I think that I feel the Irish, our history, Romanian history, the Sicilian history that Marty has in his family. I mean, we have endured a lot as countries and as people. And I think the art saved us in many ways. And I'm not surprised at the way the Romanian people embraced the films of Martin Scorsese. And I would just love nothing more to sit down on a beautiful May evening and discuss it with some of his Romanian fans. You, number one.
Thank you very much.